Welcome everyone to the second last race of the season for the Tully 500 at Ring Raceway. We may not live at Tully anymore, but we're still using the name because it's a legacy name and who cares. Trust me, we have one hell of a race for you. Let's get to the field. Here is your cars that have qualified. Ricardo Roberto's on the pole. Lucky Jackson, actually being lucky for once, will get our last qualifying position. The two main drivers who are the focus of today are Mark Martin, your points leader, and Coffee Tart, who is second place in the points, I believe, next to Crazy Ruby. So this is one hell of a race that we are about to witness. This will have championship implications. As you can see, this is our track. There's the ring, and it goes right down under those, between those two boxes there, under the other part of the track. And it's one hell of a turn. I believe we're going to see a lot of crashes today. That's what it's supposed to be for. You know, it's a track about survival. It's not a track about fun, haha, hee hee. Someone wins. Hoping we might get a multi-time winner today. You know, we like to see some bit of domination between some drivers, like Mark Martin, be able to do that. Anyways, thank you to Slamman Customs and Hooligators All-American Diecast for continuing their support. Hope to see them next season. We'll talk to them about that. And we hope to see more tracks next season, thanks to Slamman Customs. Anyways, after the points today, I have a special announcement. So stick around till the end of the video for that one. It'll be after I roll the points, so don't leave just as it ends or before it ends. So, now that I've reminded you about that, let's get to the racing. Let's bring up the first segment. So, for our first segment, on our front row, that is Ricardo Roberto. Next to him for the Dodge Factory team, that is Casey Atwood. Behind them, second place in the points. He really needs a good race today. That is the legend himself, Coffee Tart. Next to him is Wendell Scott, who's just trying to show up to have some fun. And behind them, that is Shane Miller and James Clayman. Both of them just clinging on to the top 43 in points. Now let's see how they go on to the first lap. Man, that was some insane driving. Casey Atwood and Wendell Scott are on the front row. Oh no. Oh no. Coffee Tart and Casey Atwood are out. You see the track absolutely bounces around. It's not poor. It's not that greatly built, but it's still stable. But Coffee Tart and Casey Atwood are both out. That's last place for Coffee Tart. Literally last place. He really needed a good race today if he wanted to get back into the fight for the points there, to see if he can give it to Mark Martin. He's just opened the door wide open for Mark Martin. Mark Martin can now finish wherever and still have a good points day. Oh no. Well, after the horror of the second lap is over, Wendell Scott and James Clayman have the front row. Let's see how they go. Right, fourth and final lap. James Clem and Ricardo Roberto on the front row. Let's see if James can hold on to it and get the segment win. Well, James Clement very much does get the segment win, but Shane Miller putting the mid back in midfielder crashes on the corner in speed racer style. He is out of the race too. We've already lost 3 cars. This is really depressing. But James Clayman, as we see there, is your segment winner. He'll be moving on to the finals. Wendell Scott will be moving on to the seconds race, and Ricardo Roberto on to the thirds race. As we know, Coffee Tart's had an awful race, so his race is done. Bad news, Mark. It's very sad. Bad news, Cut Rocker. But James Clayman, I'm pretty sure, has just bought himself enough points to make it to the last race, as I believe no matter where he finishes now, he would have pushed himself into the top 43 in points, which is where he really needs to be. And it will guarantee him a really good start and good points, hopefully enough to push him in the top 20 for next season. Alright, this is a very interesting segment. The 24 of Jeff Jordan is on our pole right here. Next to him is Carl Recco, and well, look out, Kevin LePage is on the track. We all know what he did. Batten down the hatches, hits Talladega 2008 all over again. And next to him is the legendary Gavin McSplage. We haven't seen him in a while. He's fresh off the set of a new movie where he played a plumber coming to fix a very attractive young woman's pipes. So it's very cool. Love him. We all love this badger. Behind them, that is Jeff Bodine and Agron for the Gravity Track GP race team. Anyways, on to the race. Let's go. We have two drivers come off the track here, Jeff Jordan and Kevin LePage. Don't worry, they're both still in the race, they both landed on their wheels. But oh, that was a bit of a nasty crash from them. Carl Recco and good old Gavin are on the front row for the second lap. Oh, Ring Raceway claims 2 more victims. Jeff Jordan and Agron. Man, this track is claiming cars all day. I knew it would be a crash-heavy track. So if you really like crashes, you'll see him. I know some of the team owners probably won't like it because their drivers crashing too much. But it's what we live for. We live for the action. It's for the suspense. You know, it's unpredictable. But it's a sad day for Agron and Jeff. Gavin and Carl Recco still have the lead for the third lap. Alright, we're looking at this replay. We just want to confirm if Gavin ended up on his roof before he crossed the line. Oh, that looks visible here. I think he was on his roof. Yep, there's the still. Gavin right there is out of the race. He's on his lid being pushed by the man himself, Kevin LePage, over the line. Gavin McSplage is out of the race. Probably thinking about his movies too much. Well, now we're down to 3. Carl and Jeff have the front row for the final lap. Oh, HSL is not gonna like this. I believe Carl is on his side. Yep, that replay already proves it. He's on his side before he crosses the line. He's not gonna tip back over onto his wheels. He's basically on his roof. It's the end of Carl Recco. He's out. So Kevin will get second. Jeff Bodine will get first. Look at that. Only 2 cars. 2 cars will finish this segment. That is something else. Again, this track is a car killer. It literally kills cars. It's built for that purpose. It's a short track. It's built for crashing. So if you don't like it, oh, I'm sorry. But just look at that. It's unpredictable. Jeff Bodine will move on to the finals. Alright, on to our next segment. On our front row, we have Lewis M. Believe it or not, says his name on the car. Next to him in the 44, that is Ezekiel Myers. Still trying to prove himself in this series, though it is only his first few races. Behind them in the 248, that is Jeff Johnson. I've been assured that he's a tank of a car. Next to him, making their first start, was Morgan Shepherd, but now it's Neil Bonnet in the 21 for Wood Brothers Racing. And behind them, your California winner is the 30 of Bear Mackay, and next to him is Lord Shank. Let's get this segment started. Oh, Lord Shank, you buffoon. My own driver, he's crashed out already. Look at that, flips on the corner, hits Neil Bonnet, comes off the track. And he is out, as you can tell, so Lord Shank for Murphy Racing Enterprises is out. I believe that that will be his season over, because I don't think he'll be in the top 43 in points. I believe he's in the top, I think he's 46 in points right now. Don't think he'll have enough to get and crack in to that top 43. Ezekiel Myers has the lead and Lewis M will start off next to him onto the second lap. Alright, so we've slowed this down a bit more because we have two cars out. Ezekiel and Neil Bonnet, as we've slowed down more there. Neil Bonnet goes flying over the track, Jimmy Horton style, if you know you know. And Ezekiel Myers goes all the way down on his roof. And that will be both of them out. 3 cars left in this segment. There's Neil's car under an office chair. So, at least he's got some shade, I guess. Bit of a wild crash for him. And Ezekiel Myers is right there, propped up against Bear's hood. Don't believe Bear would like that too much. But both of them are out. Their seasons are done. On to the next lap. 3 cars left, with only 2 laps to go. Bear McKay is now in the front row. Let's see if he can claim another segment win. On to the last lap. Bear has the lead. See if anyone else has anything for him. Well, Bear gets the segment win, but Lewis M and Jeff Johnson crash each other. Lewis M gets second there, and I believe they just decide to give up. Let Bear get the segment win, they'll fight it out another day, I guess. So that's a bit rough for Lewis, because I think he could have contended for that win there. But nonetheless, Bear McKay will move on to the finals, so that's good for him. And thank goodness we're doing this race only once every season, because this has been an absolute wreckfest. But I think some of these drivers like it. Bear McKay has another chance to actually get a race win, a proper race win, which, you know, we're getting close to finally having a multiple time winners, so that could be very good. Anyways, let's continue moving on. Alright, for our next segment, on our front row we have J.D. McDuffie. Next to him for Po' Boy Racing, that is Gator McCluskey. Behind them on that second row, that is Denzel for Do Bronx Racing. Next to him, no, it's not Mark Martin driving for the Catalina Wine Mixers. It's Mark Martin driving for Rush Racing. And behind them, it's the party man himself on that back row. That is Vinny Nightlife, the legend himself. And next to him, for the best racing team, in brackets, Mexican hot sauce, that is Big Man Andy / Big Mac. Let's see how they go on the first lap. Would you believe it if I told you not 1 but 2 drivers DNF'd on this lap? J.D. McDuffie and Denzel. Look at that, both of them are out. Both started in basically the same row. So it's a tough day for them. Denzel's season gets even worse. JD's is just still mediocre, but he still shows that he can drive faster than Denzel. On to the second lap. Gator and Mark will fill out that front row. See how they go on the second lap. And now Gator McCluskey is out. That's not good. That's definitely not good for Po' Boy. Oh man. Well, without Gator McCluskey, this is pretty much anyone's race. Oh, and the fact is that Mark Martin there is the only modded car, so he probably will actually win anyways. Everyone's still in their same positions for the final lap. Let's see if Vinny has anything to take to Mark. Well, Vinny almost won, but Mark Martin still edged him out, so he'll be moving on to the finals. Big Man Andy / Big Mac is probably just happy to finish this segment, so that's really good for him. But we'll be seeing Vinny in the seconds race and Mark Martin in the finals. On to the next segment. Alright, so this next segment's a bit interesting, because I believe Tony Coleman is the only mod there. But on the front row, in the 300, that is Tim Flock. Next to him in the 34, that is Todd Bodine for the Bodine Brothers Racing Team. Behind them is Nigel Carbonator for the DT99 race team. Next to him, making his first start, and only start of the season, is JJ Yaley for the Raceway racing team. Behind them for Murphy Racing Enterprises is Derek Pitts, and next to him for the 100 Proof racing team, it is not James Clayman, it's his son, Tony Clayman. Let's see how they go for the first lap. And just like that, Derek Pitts is out of the race. He is out. Tim Flock, we believe, is flipping as he comes across the line. Well, there's Derek Pitts. He is done. His day is over. But I would like to pull up that next picture. Come on. And here it is. Believe if you see that grey line, that is the underside of Tim Flock's car. So we believe Tim Flock is out of the race. And yes, he is. Todd Burnheim and JJ Yaley have the front row. This has made this segment a whole lot easier for Tony Clayman. See how they go for the second lap. Tony's now up on the front row next to Todd for the second to last lap. Let's see if Tony can beat out Todd and get the lead for the last lap and lock up that segment win. Well, he does just that. On to the last lap. It's Tony's race to lose. And lose he does not. Tony Clayman will move on to the finals. In second we have Todd Burnheim, who will move on to the seconds race. Nigel Carbonator, who somehow has survived this race, will move on to the thirds, and JJ Yaley, although slow, he's also survived, so we'll see him in the fourth race. Or thirds race, because, not many cars finished fourth. Alright, now this segment has championships on the line. There's a lot of points here. Mark Martin in that back row, he is your points leader. As the next race is the final race of the season, he hopes to finish well. Onto the grid, we have Skid Matt on the front row next to Tyler Bloodfish. Jack Warren is on that second row. Next to him, making his first start of the season, that's Morgan Shepherd. And on that back row, Kirk Shelmerdine, and I believe is his second start. And Mark Martin, your points leader, is next to him. Let's see how they go for the first lap. Oh my, that's a horrible first lap. The front rows come both out. Tyler Bloodfish and Skid Matt are completely out of the race, just right there. Thank goodness Mark Martin was spared from that. But there they are, both flipped over. It is a tough race for them. Tyler Bloodfish will have to just hope for next season to be good for him, because I believe he's just done. Skid Matt's also done for the season. We'll be seeing them at the Lord Shank Motor Speedway for the duels race. Anyways, let's pack them up and get them up for the second lap. Mark Martin and Morgan Shepherd are on the front row for the second lap. Let's see if Mark can pass Morgan and get onto the lead. And there wasn't a crash this lap, but Mark Martin has received a massive amount of damage. We'll slow it down here. Jack Warren, with help from Morgan Shepherd, destroys the back of Mark Martin's car. We'll show it a second time here. Look at that. His spoiler comes off. He's absolutely destroyed him. There's the look of it. And in the words of what James Clayman said, who the hell bit me? Well, Jack Warren did. There's your evidence. Mark Martin is not going to be happy about that. Your points leader, he's battered and bruised now. Absolute chunks of his car has been taken off. On to the third lap, boys. Let's see how it goes. Mark Martin now sits next to Jack Warren. Let's see if he'll try and ram him off the road now. On to the third lap. Jack Warren's still in the race. as he flipped past the finish line. He's still next to Mark Martin. It's Mark's race to lose. Let's see if Mark will move on to the finals for the final lap. And Mark Martin holds off Jack Warren to get the segment win. He'll be moving on to the finals to potentially claim his second win in a row and lock up the championship, provided that he drives well. As we know, Coffee Tart had an absolute awful run today. Jack Warren gets second after proving that he is a very good driver, despite being a stock. We'll see him in the seconds race. Alright, this is your last segment of the day, before we move on to all of our other little races. First place on the front row is John. He is fighting for his career. Next to him is Brett Bodine. Behind them, Jimmy Sterling making his second race of the season. He's last in points. Next to him is John Andretti, hoping to stay in the top 43 and maybe even move into the top 20 because I believe he's out of it. And behind them, that's Dave Blaney, the Buckeyed Bullet. And next to him is Lucky Jackson, who was lucky because he got the last starting spot of this race. Let's move on to the first lap. Oh my, a horrible crash. A horrible crash on the first lap here. Look at that. Oh no. That has taken out Lucky Jackson, John Andretti. And I don't know about Jimmy Sterling, but we saw him come off the track. Oh, that's a horrible crash for him. That's effectively ruined John Andretti's chances of staying in the top 20. Believe it or not, but you will, Jimmy Sterling is still in this race. Brett Bodine led that lap. John will be beside him. John is the only mod left. He hopes to get this segment win. He really, really needs it. John is your leader for this lap. Jimmy Sterling is next to him. Let's see if Jimmy Sterling has anything to show John. On to the third lap. And John crashes out. Thankfully, he's still in the top 43 in points, so we'll see him next race. So with that, John is out of the race. So this is now anyone's race to take. Jimmy Sterling, Dave Blaney, or Brett Bodine. Take your pick. This is the final lap. And just like that, Dave Blaney wins it. Jimmy Sterling is in second place. That's a good showing for him. Brett Bodine practically did nothing this entire segment, but he survived. So I guess that's good for him. But Dave Blaney, we'll be seeing him onto the finals. Now, we shall begin the fourth race. Alright, for your fourth race, it is JJ Yaley and Kirk Shelmerdine, the only cars to finish in fourth. So let's see how they go. Kirk Shelmerdine takes the lead. See if he can hold on to it for their final lap. Alright, Kirk Shelmerdine does hold on to it, so he will win. On to the third race. So on our front row we have Ricardo Roberto and Jeff Johnson. I've been assured that his car is a tank. Behind them is Big Man Andy / Big Mac. Nigel Carbonator is next to him. And in that last full back row, that is Morgan Shepherd and Brett Bodine. And last, you just saw him win the fourth race. That is Kirk Shelmerdine. On to their first lap. I believe Ricardo Roberto has crashed. Take a look at it. Yes, he does. He goes over on his roof. Ricardo Roberto is out. Jeff Johnson and Nigel Carbonator will have the lead. Alright, time for the seconds race. This one means it all to all of these drivers, as whoever does this moves on to the finals, whoever wins. So on our front row we have Wendell Scott and Jimmy Sterling. Behind them is Jack Warren and Kevin LePage. In that third row there, that is Todd Bodine and Vinny Nightlife. And in that final row there, that is Lewis M, believe it or not, says his name on the car. And the man who just won the thirds race, there's Jeff Johnson. I've been assured his car is a tank. Anyways, on to the first lap. And as you saw right there, Lewis M slides on his roof. He is out. For the final lap, Jimmy Sterling and Kevin LePage have the front row. Let's see how they go. They have Wendell Scott and Vinny Nightlife behind them. Last lap, let's see how they do it. Well, there is an absolutely huge crash. Look at that, multiple cars around. Kevin LePage will win it, with Vinny coming in second. But that was a horrible crash. Wendell Scott, Todd Bodine, Jack Warren is out. Now this race means to James Clement's team more than ever. Mark Martin can lock up the championship today if he wins. On the front row we have Mark Martin for Rush Racing. Bear Mackay, who has won a race already. He won California, so this is a good day for him, good points day. Behind him is Mark Martin for the Catalina wine mixes, and Jeff Bodine next to him. James Clement on that third row, he's looking to get revenge and see if he can win. Dave Blaney, a surprise encounter today. For the finals is next to him, and Tony Clement and Kevin LePage are on that back row. Let's see how they go for the finals race. Oh my kazoolie. Kevin LePage has a horrible crash. So waiting for the cars to go down here, we have it on ultra slow motion for the replay. Look at this, LePage, Andover, and Tony Clement spins. James Clement crashes into his own son. And Kevin LePage is out. It's a tough day for Rush Racing. Bear Mackay has the lead next to Mark Martin for Rush Racing. Mark Martin for the Catalina wine mixes though is right there in fourth. Let's see if he has anything to show him.
Ooh. Hey, James.
A horrible crash. James Clement goes off the track, so is Dave Blaney. Dave Blaney gets caught in the cushions that I put there. The stuffed crocodile I got from Australia Zoo when I was a child. Look at that. Dave Blaney's race ends early. That's sad for him, but it's a good way to end the season at least, with a finals attempt. So it's very great for Brock Beard Racing. Just not the way how they'd like to end it, unfortunately, but still shows good form. For the third lap, Mark Martin from the Catalina wine mixes is now on the front row. He has the chance to win this. Let's see how they go for the third lap. A horrible crash. Another horrible one. We're filled with horrible crashes this race. But look at what has happened onto the final lap. Mark Martin from Rush Racing goes flying off, and Tony Clement rolls in on his roof. That is a tough way to end it. And we'll take a look at their cars. That is Rush Racing's very own Mark Martin. He's on his wheels, so he'll still be in it. He'll still have a chance to win. And there is Tony Clement's car sliding on its roof. That is a rough way to end it for Tony, but he might be in the top 43 in points now, as shown by his good run today. Alright, the last lap is here. Mark Martin and Bear Mackay are on the front row. Both of them have a chance to win their second race ever. 2 races in a row for Mark. Bear Mackay as well. He's just here to show him that he's better. He's better than everyone else. Let's see how they go. The final lap. And Bear Mackay becomes your first multi-time winner, your all-time winner as of now. The most wins of this season goes to Bear Mackay. Look at that. One car goes flying off. I don't know who that was. But Bear Mackay wins it as Mark Martin throws the block on James Clayman. Oh, what a win. Bear Mackay Bear Mackay wins. That I'm in disbelief. Look at that. James Clayman is in third. Mark Martin for the Catalina wine mixers will have to deal with second once again. The Cinderella story continues. But he will still have a chance to lock up the championship for the final race of the season. None of that matters now. Here is the victory lap from Bear Mackay. Look at that. At the Slamman Customs victory lane, Bear Mackay, your all-time winner for the 2024 season. 2 races under the belt, California and now Ring Raceway. That is a massive win. Congratulations to Bear, honestly, it's very good. Team owner Daniel will be very proud. This is an amazing achievement for him. I did not think he'd be able to do it right here. Mark Martin has been on a bit of a tear all season, but Bear Mackay finally says that, you know what, I'm better than you. I can prove that I can drive. And look at that, he steals the win right under his nose. He will definitely be in the final race of the season, and we'll see him definitely at the All-Star race. And right there is your results for this race. As you can see, Coffee Tart in last. Mark Martin is in second. This could make up for one hell of a final race. As we see, the points are going to be jumbled around. Don't worry, I have a lot more to talk about during these points, because as of now, everyone who was under the top 43 in points is now set in that position. Their season is done. They will be seen next year, but for everyone in the top 43, we'll see him at the next race. Alright everyone, here is your current top 20 in points. So, as of now, you see James Clayman has 250 points. There's your top 40 there. So, we'll get it to scroll down to your top 43 real quick. So, Blaze Thunderstruck, the man himself, is your 43rd and final driver that'll be able to participate in the final race. Wendell Scott will just miss out. That is because he's 44th, but he will be in the All-Star race because he's the best of the rest. Like a mini little championship. All these other drivers under him are all locked in those positions. That's where they finish for this season. Now we do have some announcements. For our All-Star race, we have a fan vote and a most popular driver award. So, vote in the comments of this video and the next video, and maybe even in the post-season review video that I might do, of who you want to be the most popular driver, who you voted for, and who you want to be for the fan vote for the All-Star race. So that's going to be someone that isn't your driver and hasn't already won a race yet. That's for the fan vote. For the most popular driver, it could be literally anyone, even your own driver. And I would like to congratulate Bear Mackay, his team, Daniel Mackay, the man himself, for basically they have the most wins on the season with 2. So they win the award. They will definitely be in the All-Star race. And Mark Martin, informally, I will informally say this now, he is your champion, as he has 250 points, and no matter what second place does, Coffee Tart will never be able to reach him in points. So I will formally message James Clayman and congratulate him for the job that the Catalina wine mixers has done. But I will formally, on the video, formally crown the champion at the end of the next race. So I hope everyone understands. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. And it's great season as we come to our final race, and it's basically a fight for our top 20. So it's a fight for our top 20 in points. Really, other than that, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed this race, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.